let's start talking about now flipping it. Now, how do I fix this? And I've picked up something from Gartner. This is a new way I want to try to talk about it. I like this a little bit better, and it's a little bit broader. I'm kind of picking up Alex's thing. It's like I'm going to kind of throw the kitchen sink at this, but I want to point out that data and analytics is behind just about everything here.
Hi, it's Alex Jarrett with Technology Executives Club, and you're watching another episode of CIOs Unleashed, where you'll get insights, inspiration, and strategies that actually work. Be sure and visit us at technologyexecutivesclub.com, where you can get your first masterclass workshop on demand worth $297 for free. That's technologyexecutivesclub.com.
Gartner's called out 8, themes around supply chain that are important, things that you need to be working on in order to develop your supply chain. There are other things, but these are the 8 key things. And these, it can come by themselves, but typically are bunched together. You'll think about, basically, well, like I said, analytics everywhere is part of it. Hyper automation, so automating it and looking at, next gen robots. Those 3 things together is a set, an overall set of things that I put together and apply. It's a use case that I'll apply to my supply chain, and I'll put different pieces together based on what I'm trying to work on. But each of these is an overarching theme for us to consider. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of them. I want to hit on a few, especially since I don't have all that much time. But let's start out. Let's go to the next slide, and we'll start out with, as I said, analytics everywhere. Okay, this basically is saying I need to think about having analytics data front and center on everything that I do, because it's that important now. As I said, I'm from BCG. I just was at a big gathering of BCG folks, and we talked about the fact that, in the day, again, back in the 90s when I started consulting, strategy was, strategy. It was something that you formulated, and it was fairly separated from everything else. You had to do things to get there. The conversation I had with several people, though, was it's really interesting now that anytime you think about a strategy, you really have to ascertain where you are in terms of data and analytics. Do I have the data to support that strategy? Do I have the analytics? Do I have the capabilities to do that? Or how fast can I build them to be able to support that strategy? That has become a critical part of building out strategies. So analytics everywhere is critically important. You think about analytics being embedded, getting it out to the edge, getting it into the places where you can use it. You think about NLP for doing things like natural language processing, natural language generation, and machine learning and deep learning. All of those things get applied to just about every other part of that ring, all of those themes that we have. But that has to be a thoughtful part of it. Having an analytics center of excellence is a critical capability. That's what I did at Gartner, was help large organizations like Pfizer, like Boeing, build out their analytics center of excellence, their capability to do these kinds of things with anything they worked on. And now that's come to, literally when I was doing it with those companies, supply chain wasn't as big a deal, but now that's critical, and that's where they're going to spend a lot of their time. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Automation. And, automation is, again, just, everybody's using it. And I'm going to focus on one piece of this. Part of it's this robotic process automation. It's just automating those things on the edge that can help you function better, take things that are manual now and turn them into something automated. It's, it's sometimes just simple coding but more typically picking up data and building models and using programming to make things happen. Automating things like repair. And some of it doesn't have to be complete automation, but for example, VR on repairs. So not VR, AR is probably a better term. Augmented reality. So I'm fixing something, and in the glasses that I put on, it brings up what I'm working on and shows me what I need to do to fix it and steps me through it. So rather than having to look back and forth from a manual to the actual part, I can display the information over the part, do things like that. I can talk about replacing people that can do smart things. And this is more, healthcare, so not supply chain, but analytics and machine learning is really good at identifying tumors, identifying anomalies in x-rays. And that's being done in supply chain as well. Very similar things to that, where what we do is allow automated pieces to go after those things that used to be manual and fairly hard to do. Okay. All right, let's pop to the next slide. And ecosystem collaboration. I mentioned, data sync, global data sync, as being that thing where buyer seller were sharing data, and now we're starting to see that that's expanding beyond just that buyer seller, but the chain, the global chain, trying to set up a data stream, a capability, a collaboration point, so that there's visibility of data across the entire set of collaborators, stakeholders in the process, so that everybody gets a chance to see what's going on, that it's not hidden away, that everybody gets a chance to make decisions about what's going on, all the way from raw materials to manufacturing to delivery. And that's important. So, for example, working with a drug manufacturer, them being able to track all of their raw materials, where they're coming from, details about those, testing results, to the manufacturing plant. What was the temperature when, that they were manufactured at? How much vibration was involved? To the, basically delivery out to the field. What was the temperature of the truck? Was there any shocks to the vials of the medications that were being shipped? And having that information, having visibility to that, to be able to very quickly identify what's going on is important. So the whole ecosystem collaborating. So that's important. And again, data and analytics support that, all the data, all the analytics. And let's go one more slide. And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna skip this one. In fact, I'm gonna skip the next few. The digital supply chain twin is just automating things. If we go to the next, automating things, basically saying, let's use drones, let's use robots, let's use, automated trucks. We can do that. Let's go to the next slide. Next gen robots, again, let's get really good at this stuff. Let's start making it work for everybody. And next slide. You had the cybersecurity a couple of weeks ago. Security is critically important too, making sure that as we're working with the supply chain, that we make it safe, not only for the drugs, but for people as well. Receiving the drugs, receiving food that was picked somewhere, making sure that we get it the right way, but setting up the security with that too. That's critical. So as we build out capabilities, remembering security is a critical part of that is important. And then next slide. Sustainability is a very important piece too.
Hi, it's Alex Jarrett, and thanks for watching another episode of CIOs Unleashed, brought to you by TechnologyExecutivesClub.com. If you liked today's episode, be sure and comment to join the conversation, and like, share, and follow. And don't forget, visit us at TechnologyExecutivesClub.com, where you can get your first masterclass workshop on demand worth $297 for free. That's TechnologyExecutivesClub.com.